Guys, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want cameras here. I'm done. And I never say I don't want cameras. I'm always a team player, but there's no team. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not.
Virtual reality.
Hi, I'm Danny Murphy.
And I'm Evan Real.
And I hope we can get a photo at the end of this podcast recording because the Beverly Hills ladies were not successful in doing so.
Well, guess what? We're gonna get a cast photo.
I'm out.
Oh no.
I'm not.
What?
I'm not.
Real?
What? Oh, more stuff? Garcelle?
Nope, I'm not doing it.
Garcelle, that's not cool.
I don't know. The spirit of Garcelle might compel me to to just bounce. I'm still processing the way she just abruptly left after 9 hours earlier in the taping. She was telling Andy, I hope we can get a cast photo.
I hope we can talk things through, work them out, and at the end of the day, we actually get a cast photo this reunion.
Well, actually, when we put it like that, a lot can change in 9 hours.
That
and
is true.
it did really remind me, and I'm sure a lot of people watching, like the second the clock strikes 5 at work, you're like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And someone's like, can I ask you another question? No, I am out. And I feel like mainly because the Beverly Hills, they teased this happening when the trailer dropped. People have been really more clued into how checked out she was this reunion.
Yeah.
Halfway through when she was like, I'm not answering questions.
Well, as Andy, one and the same.
Oh.
As Andy said, she was steaming in her chair. She looked so visibly uncomfortable. I will say once it was called out, I feel like she put on a pretty good face for the remainder of part 3. But then, like you said, once the clock struck whatever, she was done.
And as a professional, she said, okay, I did my obligations. The reunions were in my contract. The photo's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was very unprofessional according to Dorit. And she said it multiple times.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not doing it.
Garcelle, that's really unprofessional. That's not cool.
Garcelle, you're so unprofessional. And Garcelle just goes, okay.
She did not care.
Okay.
It was interesting when she got back to her room and she was talking to her team members. Basically what she was saying was, no one cares about me. I feel like none of them like me. I feel like she was saying I'm a team player, but now it doesn't feel like a team. But I think her biggest point of contention, as we saw play out on part 3, I don't know what else was said in the room. She seemed to be upset that she wasn't granted as much grace as she would have liked. And maybe that was true.
I don't think I ever get any grace in this group.
Okay.
I didn't feel it today. We talk about accountability. I stand by the things that I say. And even though I'm taking accountability for them, it's not accepted.
But the one example that she provided, I thought was an interesting one to try to add context to her feelings.
What did you think about her providing that? Like, what were your thoughts of Garcelle in that moment?
Of her saying, I wish I had more grace in that
Or
moment?
of using the example of the Dorit versus Garcelle home invasion situation.
Yeah, because obviously, you know, we as we've seen on the show for a while now, Garcelle has implied that Dorit's home invasion was a setup. And I mean, look, there's no evidence either way, but it's just it's a pretty alarming thing to say. Like it's kind of a dangerous thing to say, to imply that Dorit and or PK or both of them or one of them, whatever, that it was faked for, I guess, financial gain is what she's saying.
I wonder too if that was one of the topics, because I feel she has said with Kyle and Morgan, I'm just doing my job. Like, I wonder if that is a Garcelle narrative she wants to push, or do you feel like it could be one that production was like, do you have questions about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, possibly. And if that's the case, I feel bad for Garcelle that she's potentially put in situations where she has to ask questions about an uncomfortable scenario that make her look like she's accusing someone of faking a robbery, which isn't a great thing to do.
Yeah.
And then also essentially appearing as though she is trying to push Kyle out of a closet she might not even be in. I don't think either of those situations necessarily resonate with the authentic spirit of who Garcelle is, but maybe that's just what her role has been on Housewives, and that's why she needed to vacate the premises because it's starting to become uncomfortable for her.
I think it's kind of a thing where she was like, none of these ladies like me. I feel like Garcelle's kind of like, do I really like these ladies? Because she probably was like,
Right, it goes
at the
both
end of the
ways.
day, I don't care, Kyle. You know what I mean? Where she maybe was like, I'm done. And you're talking about pushing Kyle into uncomfortable territories. What did you make of Andy's questioning her?
In the first episode, Kyle, you said that you had never before questioned your sexuality.
I mean, it's a question that people still have. I understand the curiosity about it. I do feel bad for Kyle, but she kind of opened that can of worms, and it's hard to grab all the worms and put them back in the can once you open it. For her sake, I just wish it would go away, but it kind of can't. And I do think that the ambiguity of her answers perpetuate a space where there will continue to be more questions because we don't have a specific answer about anything. But then again, do we necessarily does she owe us that? I mean, she's on a reality show about her life, and it feels like she's sort of not opening up about a portion of her life. I don't know.
It's a hard thing too, and I feel I forgot about this, but I feel a lot of people have been hearkening back to her saga with Denise.
Oh yeah,
where
she does get clocked for that.
She
Yeah.
gets clocked for that a lot. Where she's like, guys, my sexuality is my sexuality, but why was Denise getting the third degree?
Why was it up for grabs then?
About me,
Yeah.
and also for Denise, married, like we're just hooking up with Brandy.
Right.
So not even like a real identity pull. It's not like Denise had to be like, "Bah, da, 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 this is who I am." It's like if she hooked up with someone for fun, she hooked up with someone for fun. Versus this potentially, seemingly, she's having sit-downs with her family about it, could lead more into that territory.
Yeah.
So I do think it is, and I actually wonder, I don't know who could ask Kyle for that, if she would, in hindsight, have navigated the Denise thing differently.
I think she definitely would have if you were to ask her in 2025, given the way she has to deal with the Morgan situation. Now, I feel like if we were to bring this up to Kyle, her argument would be, well, Brandy was a willing participant, but Morgan was a willing participant last season, and both ladies were more than willing participants in that music video, which created a lot of headlines, which Andy always goes back to. He's like, the music video. And it's so true. The music video did not make this situation easier for Kyle if it was a situation she didn't want to discuss.
Because also, I mean, all the ways you could dissect the music video, if it even is one of the things like, oh, we're just doing it to ride the publicity of Beverly Hills and the speculation, then that is, you know what I mean? That also makes it even more fair game.
Yeah.
And the way Kyle really, Kathy even said, you're talking like me. Because she just full circles. Kathy kind of saying like, I think she was spilling beans that Kyle really did not want her to. And I don't think Kathy knew what she was, just her talking about, oh, you know, I told Paris and Nikki all about you.
I talked to my girls about it, and they were like, Mom, it's 2000.
You told your girls you may be a lesbian too?
No, I didn't say. I was saying.
Oh.
In terms of sexuality and stuff. And I think Kyle's kind of like, please be quiet because you don't know what you're talking about, or I don't want you talking right now.
Did I do the wrong thing?
Happy to know that Paris and Nikki are accepting of
No, but this is
Even
what.
Rick was
No,
like,
I know.
Just let me talk to this only,
Yes,
please.
okay.
I love you, but I need you to only let me speak to
I'm
this.
sorry.
Right. Yeah, I think that was frustrating, Kyle, for sure, because it did feel like Kathy opening up to Paris and Nikki about it feels like, okay, well, now that this is the situation, we're going to share it with the nieces now. So yeah, she didn't seem to be too pleased with that. But if Kyle has a story to share in that regard, she's obviously not ready to share because even Andy, well, when they were discussing Kyle opening
Andy tried to
up,
catch her. Andy was sneaky. Go on.
I don't know. I think it came from a pure place from Andy, because what it sounded like when Kyle was explaining the discussion with her daughters about questioning her sexuality, she was saying that, you know, Portia had a very sweet reaction, came and hugged her and said something along the lines of, you know, no matter what you say, I will always love you, et cetera, full on support. And Andy very like sweetly and enthusiastically was like, that's what my dad told me, or what my mom told me, what my parents told me when I came out. They were so supportive. Isn't that the best feeling, et cetera, et cetera. And Kyle was very quick to be like, I wasn't coming out. I wasn't coming out. Okay. So if that is on the horizon, I'm so happy for Kyle, but that's not where we're at currently.
I can't hear about her and Mauricio anymore.
You're so bored.
Is there an up? Because we're not divorcing, but he's making out. But I can't badmouth the father of my kids. We gotta pick a lane.
Yeah.
And I think right now, do you feel Beverly Hills is kind of at a standstill?
I feel yes, Danny. You are yes. But now he said it. It does feel like we are at a bit of a standstill because it doesn't seem like anyone really likes anyone,
and also no one wants to talk
about what's really going on. And it's like they want to give a little bit and then they don't want to follow through because, as Andy and some of the women acknowledged, Kyle did open up about this scenario last reunion where she implied that there was alleged infidelity. And, even some of the stuff she was saying on this reunion, we could connect the dots. Mauricio, there's so much attention. There's all these snaky women.
I didn't love that.
What do you mean?
I didn't love her, and I know she doesn't want to badmouth him.
Oh, blaming the women?
All these women in his DMs. Who's opening it?
Exactly. And who's responding to them?
And who's meeting? And who's making you hire whoever her sneaky friend is? I don't know who the sneaky friend is.
I know. I want to know who it is, but why do I think it's Teddy?
I thought it was Teddy, too.
I think it's Teddy. What?
The security system?
Oh.
Because don't they use Edwin's security system?
Yeah. So Teddy has access to
if that's
that
the case.
security system. And what Kyle was saying is that she knows everything. And she saw all the correspondences that came through Mo's phone before the separation. So, and just even her saying, I've seen everything. I know what was going down in the DMs, et cetera, et cetera. We kind of know that it was infidelity, allegedly.
So I'm going to need them separate. I'm going to need Dorit and PK to separate. Or get. I just need decisions. I need decisions being made.
Kathy was holding out hope that Kyle and Mauricio could reconcile. You don't think there's hope, or you don't want that to happen, or both?
Both. And I don't think they want that to happen.
Kathy, would you want to see them reconcile?
Yes.
You would? Really? I'm so surprised to hear you say that.
She gets very upset about this.
Why would you want to see them reconcile?
Because I don't like things to change.
Yeah.
There's hope for them to reconcile while he's straddling a girl in Mykonos?
No, I know.
And eating SpaghettiOs? What? As she's drinking kombucha alone? What? That's the saddest play. That's Tennessee Williams. What are you doing here?
No. I'm getting.
It's tragic.
Yeah, no.
Her putting her agave into her chobani, begging her daughters to talk to her. Kyle, go on dates.
When you put it that way,
yes!
Danny, I'm almost shedding a tear.
Yes.
That's the saddest part is SpaghettiOs at the condo.
Yeah, that's a Lana Del Rey track, 2025.
SpaghettiOs at the condo.
With 8 towels.
and 5 nights out.
Oh, God. And
yeah.
Dorit and PK, I don't think she should go back to him. Because she seems she's never felt more empowered.
Yeah, no,
do you think they would reconcile?
No. I'm not here for a PK and Dorit reconciliation. I think Dorit is so much better off without him. And she's not currently dating, but she's thinking about dating. And I love that she is in that headspace. Bose wants her to date a PYT, a pretty young thing. I know she said she didn't mean to flirt on Instagram, but that comment on Dylan Efron's photo, it makes me think that she is also in the headspace of dating a pretty young thing. I think Cougar Dorit would be a vibe. Cougar Dorit.
I'm not calling you a cougar.
I am saying that with
She's ageless.
No, I'm saying
timeless.
I'm saying that with love and admiration.
And I feel you have to be over 55 to start actually be a cougar.
Really?
In my mind.
Okay. I don't even know how old.
I think she's 48.
48. Okay. So
she has 6 years.
It depends. She has 6 years until she's a cougar, according to Danny. I just want her to live her best life.
Yes.
And if that's with a young, hot, strapping 20-something-year-old, I'm absolutely here for it. And I need live reaction of PK's face when those photos hit the web.
I'm sure he'll post on Instagram.
No,
he's
definitely going to post some IG stories.
As he's going to do.
1,000%. Yeah.
Do you feel, besides Garcelle, keep the cast? Keep the cast as?
I think add some cast members. I like a big cast.
Yeah.
I think it makes it interesting.
And then also, if the cast, I mean, if this is how much they're opening up, get some people in the mix that's going to open up more.
We need some people to talk. We need some oversharers. I mean, just this morning on Page 6 Radio, we had Debbie Matenopoulos, who described herself as an oversharer, say that she is in talks to join the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I say give her a dime and see what happens. She's going to ask those questions. She's a journalist.
Yes. And I also do want Tracy Tudor.
Tracy Tudor and Debbie Matenopoulos would be so prime, so sublime. I think because Debbie would ask the questions. She says she's a peacekeeper, so she's not going to flip a table or throw a punch, but she'll ask the important questions. Meanwhile, I don't think Tracy's going to flip a table or throw a punch, but verbally annihilate someone, she will do.
And Tracy, and I say this with respect, I feel she's in the DMs finding dirt.
Oh, 1000%. She's a digger. She's an investigator.
And also real estate, she's going to be like, this is how much your homes are. She'll let us know whose homes and
Oh, and which ones are nearing foreclosure? Yeah,
She'll
okay.
spin the wheel.
Yeah.
It'll be all that. And maybe she'll be friends with Sutton because Sutton needs a buddy.
Yeah, yes. No, yeah, Sutton
Debbie called Sutton Hutton today, so I don't think they're going to be friends. On Page 6 Radio, she accidentally called her that, so I don't know if maybe they'll become fast friends. But maybe her and Tracy can.
I think they could vibe, but yeah, she did call Sutton Hutton on the show. Hutton's a cute name though.
I do feel, well, my favorite thing is that Sutton was like, we were supposed to go to supper with Garcelle. I do feel Sutton knew Garcelle was done on the couch because she kept on going to Erica Jane. Can we be friends? Like I feel Sutton realized like, oh, I need a pal.
I would love to know what the correspondence has been like between Sutton and Garcelle since wrapping the reunion. I do wonder if it was like a pay-for-play friendship. I don't know. I can see Garcelle, like maybe the friendship was authentic, but I can see Garcelle wanting to take space just to get a breather from the entire Housewives experience.
And I feel they have to recalibrate what their friendship would be outside of the show.
Right.
Because I feel Garcelle's not gonna be like, I don't want to hear what Erica Jane did in her. Like, I don't care.
Right, because Sutton and Crystal are still close, but I feel like
Crystal's tapped.
Crystal's
humble
in,
bragging.
and right,
Isn't the available?
and I feel like she is down to gossip about the girls. I feel like Garcelle just really needs a clean break for a little bit.
She's on Netflix. Yeah.
She is?
On Michelle Buteau's show.
Oh, congratulations to Garcelle.
It really
Okay.
was funny timing because I think the second season came out 2 days after she announced.
Okay, great.
There we go.
Oh my God. So Garcelle's booked and busy. She's thriving. I love to, and now she won't be forced to talk about alleged lesbianic activities
At Chuck
with
E.
Kyle
Cheese.
at Chuck E. Cheese.
I feel, you know what? The second she got the call sheet, if that's how Beverly Hills does it, and it says Chuck E. Cheese, she's like, what is my 2025? What am I doing?
Yeah, I have to go to Chuck E. Cheese and talk about Kyle potentially
going to
being a
Chuck-
lesbian. Although I will say, as a little gay who once frequented Chuck E. Cheese, it does feel like a safe place, and he always felt like an ally. So maybe that is what inspired Garcelle to bring up more lesbianic topics at the Chuck E. Cheese in front of the pizza and Kyle.
I guess you have an open table with you and Kyle.
Were you a Chuck E. Cheese kid?
I had a birthday there once and my nose bled and someone yelled at me. A stranger yelled at me.
So it didn't feel like a
Did
safe
not feel like a
place
safe
for
space.
you.
They were like, why is your nose bleeding? I'm like, I don't know.
So, okay. Yes, okay.
So
No, that's scary. That's
And all the although Chuck E. Cheese I went to, the robots were really down bad. They were like, they were Katy Perry singing "What a Wonderful World" in this Blue Origin. So that's all I was picturing. That Bravo edited out of the Chuck E. Cheese 2025 Chuck E. Cheese robots just melting off.
Wait, did you see Chuck? Did you see Chucky has like a whole new look these days?
No,
Chucky
he took vitamins.
No, Chucky like took Ozempic and got a facelift for 2025. I'm not into it.
Okay, well, I need to check that out after this. Let me peruse Chucky.
Maybe he could join Housewives.
Oh,
as like the first.
wait, with Jennifer Tilly's Chucky.
Oh yeah.
I hate it. That's all.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Even in the little chair with her outfit on.
Yeah.
Wait, was that the bride of Chucky or Chucky in the chair?
Well, she was the bride of Chucky in the film, so maybe that was her because Chucky has his own house.
Oh, because didn't the bride didn't the bride. Didn't the bride
This is when
Chuck-
Garcelle's like, I'm out.
the bride of Chucky have like a custom Gucci outfit?
Yeah.
Oh, and that was Gucci, not Uchi. Sorry to Gabby Prescott from Summer House. Okay, I feel like we need a wrap.
We need
'cause
to
now we're
go.
talking
We gotta
about
go to
Uchi.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. Okay.
Well.
Bye.